Hey, welcome to my live show. I haven't done a show for a couple weeks. I've actually been on vacation in Florida and took a break. So I'm actually doing a combined show tonight, which is Holistic Health Hacks with Robin, which I normally do on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and Living a Transformed Life, which I do on Fridays or Saturdays. I'm combining these messages today, and we're going to talk about preventing cancer through emotional well-being. So I want to let you know I hate cancer. My mother died of cancer. I've lost a lot of people to cancer, and my children's father just recently beat cancer. Praise God. So great story there. Anyway, so I want to talk about the emotional roots to disease in general, but I'm going to talk about specifically cancer because it's such an important topic. So first of all, the recent statistic is that 50% of the population in America in current statistics will get cancer in their lifetime. 50%, that's 1 out of every 2. So why are we not talking about cancer more than we're talking about it? It seems to be one of these issues that people just want to bury their head in the sand and hope and pray that they're not the ones to get it. I also believe that cancer is preventable as well as treatable without drugs and drug intervention or radiation or chemistry. I won't go into that topic. If you know me, you know how I feel about alternative medicine and cancer prevention, but I'm really talking about preventing cancer, not treating it in this show. So, anyway, I normally talk about on our Living a Transformed Life, trying to understand this idea of trapped emotions and then how to get rid of them. And on Holistic Health Hacks, it's tips for staying well. So I want to talk about this idea of the value, the importance, the urgency of developing your life around processing your emotions and doing it for the reason of staying healthy, physically healthy, not just emotionally healthy, but physically healthy. The American Medical Association, the AMA, believes that 90% or more of diseases are rooted in emotional or mental problems in thinking or emotions. And they don't do anything in medical school really to teach you how to treat that. So that's kind of ironic. They know that that's what starts it, or that's the root cause of it, but they don't really know how to treat it other than through drug intervention. So the best thing we can do then is, well, what can we do to prevent it? Nobody wants to get cancer in the first place. So I'm going to talk about some of the common emotions that are rooted in cancer. The first one is bitterness and unforgiveness. So if you have any reason to keep short accounts for people, I'm going to give you one. It's to not get cancer. Bitterness, resentment, hatred, vengeance, not resolving those emotions with people, leaving relationships undealt with, stuffing those feelings, avoiding confrontation because of not wanting those uncomfortable feelings. Those trapped emotions do build up, they do accrue, and those are some of the fundamental causes of cancer. There's a couple of books you can read that talk about different specific roots to different cancers. One is A More Excellent Way by Henry Wright, and these are mostly people who through medical experience have seen specific ties to cancer. This is a book I use with my clients. It's called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. I'm going to read you a list of things that are tied in general to cancer, not necessarily specific cancers. Leukemia, depression, anger, or ill will. Cervical cancer, repressed anger. Of female organs, repressed anger, usually at male authority figures. Feeling an emptiness in life, unresolved resentments. Feelings of hostility being suppressed. Are you seeing a theme here? Rejecting the self, feelings of despair, feelings of loneliness being repressed, poor relationship with parents, inability to cope with traumatic loss, feelings of helplessness, hopelessness being repressed. So this whole idea is holding in these emotions, these stuffed feelings over the course of a lifetime, not believing that it matters, that what's the heck, that's in the past. But nothing is ever in the past unless we have resolved it. Our body still holds those trapped emotions, as I've said over and over again on my Friday show about living a transformed life. We hold these emotions until we resolve them or we release the energy attached to them. Mental depression, holding on to deep resentment, anger, hate, revenge, or jealousy, and a subconscious death wish or no desire to live. So you can bring cancer on yourself if you get so deeply in deep despair. I've had women, I know a woman who ended up with breast cancer, and she truly believes it's because she wouldn't leave her husband because she was afraid he would take the children if she left him. So she stayed so that she could parent her children, and she ended up dying of cancer. Now, maybe there were other causes, but that's what she believed gave her the cancer in the first place, is a very oppressive marriage, and staying in the marriage caused her to develop the cancer. I've seen it happen. I know in my mother's case, I'll be quite transparent here, my mother never dealt with any of her bitterness or anger, resentment towards her parents, just because she was raised in the Depression. Not that they were awful, but she just grew up in a very repressed, emotionally repressed world where she never dealt with her feelings, and she died of cancer. Are there other preventatives for cancer? Yes. Detoxing on a regular basis. Cancer can be caused by too much toxicity. We live in this world right now that's highly, highly, highly toxic in the U.S. We live in a highly toxic environment. EMFs, GMOs, chemicals, pollution in the environment. Toxicity alone can create cancer. We know that people who are exposed to radiation get cancer. So we know that toxicity can cause cancer. Accumulation of poor diet can cause cancer. If I go back to my energy model, which is, I talk a lot on my Friday show, is that we are energetic beings and we vibrate at a frequency, and in a healthy body vibrates between 62 and 68 megahertz. And once we start getting below 62, sickness and disease set in. Trapped emotions are balls of negative energy that vibrate at a lower frequency. We store them in our body. It brings our frequency down. We pour toxins in our body. It brings our frequency down. We eat bad foods. It brings our frequency down. We allow ourselves to make choices for an unhappy life rather than risk something. It brings our frequency down. So all of those things ultimately, on an energetic basis, take our frequency from a 62 to 68 and we bring it down. Cancer starts around, I believe, a 50 or a 52 and goes down. So what I'm trying to say is I'm talking mainly about emotions here and how trapped emotions affect our health, and our beliefs affect our health. But it's also a cumulative frequency. Lots of stories of people who had cancer and they beat cancer by laughing. Laughing raises your frequency. Happiness raises your frequency. So when we look at this kind of cumulative idea and we try to quantify everything in our life to a number, a numerical value that's higher or lower than that 62 to 68, then we can try to understand wellness or health from a quantifiable number. The more trapped emotions you have, the lower your frequency. The more positive emotions you have, the higher. The more beliefs you have that are negative, they've actually proven scientifically in the brain that negative beliefs cause toxins to be released in the body. We know from, I've talked about the Masaru Emoto experiments, is that thoughts and intention affect the very molecules in our body. Those experiments are recreatable between words that we speak and thoughts that we have. So, you want to prevent sickness, you want to prevent disease. Cancer is going to hit 1 out of every 2 people in the U.S. in this today's statistic in their lifetime. Then build your frequency. Add positive, subtract negative. Get rid of toxins. Add healthy, positive food, drink lots of water. Get rid of negative, trapped emotions by processing them if they're current and learning techniques to release them if they're old and past. Forgive people that you've been holding bitterness and resentment about in your heart. Forgive them. Do it for no other reason than it's not hurting anybody but you to hold that bitterness and resentment. And revenge. None of those things bring good fruit in your life. None of those things bring health. They all lower your frequency and make you prone to disease. Okay, so up your frequency, get rid of the negative. That's your best cancer prevention right there. It's not a magic secret pill you take. It's understanding the idea of everything is quantifiable, and we want to move towards the higher numbers and get rid of the lower numbers. So if you're struggling with anger, hate, revenge, resentment, do something about it. Go get some help. Do some counseling. Start talking about it. Try to get rid of those emotions and work to forgive those people you're angry and bitter about. That will change your frequency. That's one of the best cancer preventions, right, that you can do, is get rid of negative emotions and try to add in some positive ones. Bring healthy people in your life. Get rid of toxic people. It's okay if they're family members. Your life and your health are more important than doing the right thing when you have really dysfunctional, toxic people in your family. It's okay to just say no. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's your life, and there's other people, I bet, that are counting on you staying healthy in your life as well. Okay, well, that's it for today. If you want to PM me on any other questions about cancer, there's also a really good Facebook page that's I always get the name a little wrong, but it's Cancer Alternative Treatments to Cancer. It's a really good page. Randall, R-E-N-D-E-L, Kling hosts it, and he's constantly posting articles about ways to treat cancer naturally and preventatives. So you can prevent cancer. You can ensure that you won't be one of those two people who gets cancer, but you have to be intentional about it and you have to be proactive. But fear is a low frequency emotion and it brings your frequency down. So be empowered to know that you can be very intentional about taking care of your health and not getting disease, and it's not random. It doesn't just strike people randomly. There's a science behind it, and you can prevent it. Okay, have a great week. I won't be doing a Friday show since this was a combo show. Look for me next Tuesday for another Holistic Health Hacks tip. If you have any reason or questions or anything you want to PM me about, I'm happy to help. That's what I do and that's what I love. So take care. Have a great week.